All right, testing, 1, 2, 3. How's that audio sounding? Should be pretty good. Hey there, everybody. RussoFam says, my son and I have started playing SWTOR and we love it big time. Hello from Oklahoma. Hey there, all the way over from sunny California. Good sound, perfect, awesome. Privyet. Hey everybody, good morning. Hey, nice to see you all here. So, we're saying hi on YouTube to everybody. As you may know, or may not know, I actually stream every morning, every weekday morning, but I do it on a different service instead of YouTube. It just works a lot better. YouTube is a little behind in the live streaming game. So if you ever want to come see us in the morning, it's, let's see if this works. No, not so well. So it's over at twitch.tv/Swtorista, and the schedule is 8 to 10 a.m. PST. Every weekday morning, we're hanging out. Next week, we're actually doing something very, very special. I guess I should tell you guys about it before I get into what I'm doing today. Let's see what I can do here. We're doing the Great Datacron Hunt. So this is going to be a very special event that we're going to be doing next week. It's not going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on Twitch, just so you don't come here and look for it. And it's going to be basically, we're inviting everyone from the community to come do Datacron hunting. It's going to be on the Starforge server, mostly on the Republic side. And let me go, yeah, it's going to be super fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Throughout this week, I've basically been every morning looking for some Datacrons to make sure I know how to get them all. And so we'll be teleporting players to any of the really hard ones. And even for the jumping ones, we're going to try and do them together. And let's say you're bad at jumping and you can't get past the first jump. No problem. Once we've let everyone have a few seconds, a few minutes to try and get the Datacron themselves, we'll be teleporting you up to the top of the pile there. So it should be a lot of fun. So I'm going to put the Datacron schedule in the chat. It's going to be a Twitter link. It's just where I posted the schedule up there. And you can take a look and see if there's any of the hard Datacrons that you don't have that you want to try and go get. If you're bad with time zones, it's going to be 8 to 10 a.m. PST. And that would be about an hour and a half earlier from now. So whatever time zone you are, it would start an hour and a half earlier from your current time. So for me, it's like 9:30. What are Datacrons, says Heavenly? Great question. Yeah, I don't have my game open right now, so I can't show you what I normally show. But they're hidden objects that you can find in the picture that you can see. You can see behind me. My character is sitting on a crazy ledge way up high, and she's found a Datacron, and there's different colored ones. And they give you a small boost to all your characters on your server when you find one. It's a small stat boost, like you'll get a little more endurance or a little more mastery. So super nice little reward for doing something very exploring. There's no combat involved most of the time. They're really for players who like to go find secrets, I think, is the main reason they exist. It's something I love to do. So there's absolutely going to be a very fun week next week. We're going to go searching for these. So what are we up to today, though? How are you this morning? Doing good, Christopher. Thanks. We're going to be going over some new information that came out on Friday. Let me see. I think I'm making a little bit of a mess here on the screen. I wanted to pull something specific up. So I'm sure many of you heard about combat styles and that things are going to be changing when it comes to your class coming up in the new expansion that's going to be coming out. Here, I'll show you what I'm looking at right here. Oh, and I'm still not showing. Are you here yet? Yeah, there we go. Sorry about the inception there. We just learned a lot more information about these combat styles through the use of an article here called Separating Story from Gameplay. And so what I wanted to do was, a lot of people were like, hey, I hate reading these long articles. Can you make a video about this? I was like, we only got like 3 tidbits of new information, but it's great to have everything confirmed. So what are we doing behind the scenes today? We're going to be reading this out as if we were making a YouTube video. Well, we will be making a YouTube video. So I'll be doing the audio and you guys can see how I go about doing it. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And good morning, everybody. Hey! Okay, let's switch over to video editing, see what shows up there. Oh, it shows Photoshop. Oh, thanks, Photoshop. That's exactly what I wanted to show you guys. I was making a quick thumbnail for this stream because it was showing Javik, and I'm like, I'm not playing Javik right now. I don't want to confuse people. Yeah, Jawaface. I was talking about that when I was going to collect the matrix shards to write down how to go get them. I was like, oh, I wish they gave you a little boost. Like they don't gotta give you like 306. But it'd be nice if they gave you, like, if you're on a brand new character, if they gave you like 272 or 274 or something that would be easy to get normally, but feels like a little cool boost along the way there. Go away, Photoshop. Nobody loves you. Okay, all right. So this is the software that I use to do audio editing. This is called, I think the top's a little cut off. I'm not quite sure why. It's called Audacity. Audacity, and it's free. You just go download it. It's free, safe, basically open. I think it's open source, but it has a lot of community input and stuff like that. And so people have been using it for very many years, and I'm very happy that I was introduced to it. It allows me to record the audio right in here, and then allows me to edit the audio. So basically, when I go because I can't remember what I'm supposed to say next, I can take that out. I take out the little sections between talking when I'm stopping to like take a breather, you know. And if I accidentally forget something, I can edit a clip at the end and bring it to the beginning. So I'm going to show you how I go about doing that. I'm going to sneeze really bad. I don't want to sneeze. So we're going to do a quick test. So this is Audacity all downloaded. Let's see. Can you see my red button? You sure can. Test, 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 test. This is me talking about the new article. So you can actually see the waves. I don't know if I can zoom in. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Only so much for you guys, sorry. I can see the waves forming where I'm talking, and the first thing I'm gonna see is, how do I sound? Oh, I think you guys are muted, so I'm gonna make it so you guys can hear too. Test, 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 test. This is me talking about the new article. Sweet. So that sounds pretty good. What I'm hoping for is that there's no weird sounds in the background. Don't sound like a robot. Don't sound like crackling. And one of the things... oh, wow, Catalyst. You've got good insults today. Plus. Is that the bars aren't reaching the top or the bottom here, and if that's happening, that means my sound is too loud. It's getting cut off by the microphone, and that can be fixed by a couple ways. Usually my problem is that in Windows, I'll search like sound controls or recording, microphone, whatever, and it's all the way up to like 100, and it's way too much for this microphone. This microphone is too sensitive for that, and you'll just play around with your own settings. It could be something like, maybe I'm like trying to eat the microphone, and I'm too close to it, or maybe I'm screaming. Maybe I'm yelling. I'm like, oh my god, I just got killed in Galactic Starfighter! Ah! You know, that's gonna cause some clipping, and it doesn't sound very good. And of course, you need to drink water. Because if you don't, you run out of voice, and then you can't do anything. All right, and the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna see, how does the silence sound? So this is actually supposed to be a patch of silence where I'm not talking right here at the beginning. You can hear it. I don't know how well you guys can hear it, but there's a little like background noise, and it's like, what could that be? That can just be static. It's also going to be picking up my computer that's behind me. You guys can't see it. It's freaking sweet. It's being a little rainbow machine back there, and blowing its fans so that the computer isn't over here, and it's picking that up. And so in Audacity, there's a really good tool to help you reduce that noise. So that's called an effect. You select a little section where it should be silence. You go effect, noise reduction. I have like a keybind for it actually, and you get noise profile. This is saying please get a section where it should be quiet, but it's not. And then I select all of my audio that I want to clean up, and I go effect, noise reduction again. And these are different sliders. You can adjust how strong it should be. I've already adjusted it for my environment, so I can just press OK and look. Listen to this. The sound of silence. Perfect. So now we know our audio is, and let's see how that sounds with the silence applied. Test, test, test. This is me talking about the new article. Oh, that sounds lovely. That makes me very happy. I get very sad when my audio is not clean. So now I'm going to be opening up the SWTOR.com news article in the background. And I'm basically going to be reading it out loud. And I'm going to be using narration skills that we practice. So like not speaking too fast, taking the time to actually read and be calm and not worry about what's coming up. Don't be worried about having to backtrack if we need to. Trying not to say very specifically not trying to say It's very funny. I actually come from somewhere French, so when I was younger, the equivalent of was la, so you'd be giving a little speech, you'd be like, j'allais à la supermarket et la. It's so cute watching little kids stammer in French. But we'll be reading it out, and that's about it. Let's go, right? Java says, Swtorista, can Audacity also record like sounds on your PC, like to record sounds and audio from within SWTOR? That's a good question. I don't know. When I want to record sounds within SWTOR, I actually use OBS Studio, which is actually what I'm using to stream to you live right now, because it has a lot of controls about what it can pick up and what it doesn't pick up along the way. Oh, that's funny. I'm sorry. These little droids are actually from Twitch, I think. They need to go away, sorry. So let's see what's going on here. I'm going to put on one half of my screen that, and the other half of my screen Audacity. I'd like it if you guys could see both. That would be super cool. Maybe add browser. Add maybe window capture. Yeah, I think this should do the trick, and then you guys can see. Oh, sweet, you guys can follow along too. Nice. Oh, what is this garbage? It's getting cut off, but I want my words all nice and big. SWTOR, make your site mobile friendly. Come on, bro. Width. 100%. Nope, that wasn't it. Who's being too big here? Width. 100%. Fine, width. 600 pixels. There we go. That'll do the trick. We cheated. We hacked the internet. Yeah, I think this is just for editing audio. I've never really tried it for anything else, to be honest. So basically, you could dump a song in there. You can record yourself. If you recorded a sound in game, you could then throw it into Audacity, and that's what it'd be useful for. Alrighty, here we go. Hello everyone, I've got some fantastic news to share with you all about combat styles. Combat styles were first introduced to the idea. So I haven't really rehearsed this part. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to say. I should have given it a little more thought. So I want to tell people that they were first floated as an idea in the live stream about the expansion, but we didn't have a lot of information about them. So let's give that another shot. Hello everyone, I've got some fantastic news to share with you all about combat styles in Star Wars: The Old Republic. Combat styles is an idea that was first introduced in a live stream fairly recently when the new expansion for Star Wars: The Old Republic was announced. This new expansion will be called Legacy of the Sith and should be coming out in holidays 2021. We don't know exactly when that will be, but a lot of players are guessing around December at the end of this year. With that, one of the many things, oh my goodness, why is it clipping so much? I can see it. Look, it's hitting the ceiling. That's not good. With that, one of the many things, oh, that was a big old too. So maybe it needs to be closer to me. Let's try this again. Testing. With that, I'm talking about, oh my god, I'm way too loud apparently. Horrible. Maybe we can start by turning down my microphone, like I was saying earlier. Record. Sound control, sound settings. Hey, Laffy. Computer cool. Oh yeah. Let's see, manage sound devices. Nope, sound control panel. I'm going to go to the recording section. I'm going to go find my microphone. I'm going to go to levels and oh, exactly what I said happened. It had bumped itself up to 100. Okay, let's try this again. All right, you guys let me know if I'm too quiet though and you can't hear me. That's a whole different issue. Testing. I'm now talking all about Star Wars: The Old Republic, and it's just hitting the peak sometimes when I get excited. Oh yeah, but not all the time. Perfect. Double check it's saved. Sounds good. Perfect. I think I might actually bump it down a little more because it's still kind of catching it here and there. Okay, I've turned it down to 70. Let's see how that goes. Zach says sick HTML skills. Did you make the Swtorista website? Yes, I've hacked the internet. Yeah, I did make the Swtorista website. So I use a platform called WordPress, and then I made the layout. It's nothing major. I just needed somewhere to throw up my articles when I first started writing them, and slowly been tweaking it ever since. Coming soon in Legacy of the Sith, something. Am I hitting the bars? Oh yeah, there we go. Oh yeah. Okay, that should be good. Coming soon in Legacy of the Sith, something. You know, that's how we talk about Star Wars: The Old Republic. Something. Hey there, JJ. Kenton says the only channel that's entering to watch the editing process as well as the videos. I like goofing off with you guys when I make them. Something dark side. Okay, here we go. Hello everyone, I've got some fantastic news to share with you about... Oh, why? Why are you still hitting? Maybe I am too close to my microphone here. Let's try this. I just want clean audio. I'm so excited to share this. I don't want to be screaming at people. Hello everyone, I'm so excited to share with you some great news about combat styles in Star Wars: The Old Republic. Combat styles were an idea that was first shared in a live stream that was announcing the new expansion coming to the game. This new expansion will be called Legacy of the Sith and should be coming out in holidays of 2021. While we don't have an exact date for this, most players are guessing it will come out around December. I think I'm going to stop tweaking and just call it a day and see how this sounds. Hello everyone, I'm so excited to share with you some great news about... That sounds fine. Let's keep going. What's next? I have too much for Audacity to handle. Part of the problem is just this microphone is called a Blue Yeti. It's a very good microphone, but it's very sensitive and it picks up a lot. It picks up a little more than I need it to for what I'm doing. I don't think I would recommend it for someone trying to do this. Probably good for a lot of other use cases though. I think it's lasted me like, oh, it's lasted me a long time now. It's at least 6 years old, if not more. How do we explain about combat styles? In the live stream, there was quite a few ideas about In the live stream, combat styles were only covered very briefly as they were part of a larger presentation about the expansion, and we only got a few tidbits about how exactly it would work, but the entire Star Wars community for Star Wars: The Old Republic went nuts over this idea. So in short, combat styles were explained that you have your base class, so you're a trooper or you're a Jedi Consular or you're a Sith Inquisitor, and with those you would normally go choose from one of the two advanced classes. Now with combat styles you'll be able to switch between your current combat style and other combat styles, other advanced classes. So you could now be a Sith Inquisitor, Marauder, or you could be a trooper, sniper, and this is a very interesting concept and something that I don't think a lot of players ever imagined would be coming. So we have been desperately asking for more information about this and to get some confirmation about how some stuff worked. Kenton says the problem with my microphone was it was too close to my mouth, plus the sensitivity was too high, so my old gameplay I used to upload was low-key ASMR. Just kind of whispering into the mic there. Okay. Oh, you have a Blue Yeti mic too. Captain Jumper, how the heck do you deal with it being such a sensitive little sucker? It's just like, oh my god, I used to be able to hear people moving pots and pans in my kitchen like 3 rooms away. I was like, I can't even hear that. Next up, we want to talk about the Sith Inquisitor. One of the most interesting facts that they shared on the live stream was that if you were a tech-based class, for example, bounty hunter, smuggler, imperial agent, or trooper, you could fairly freely switch or choose between these other combat styles for those classes. So you could be a trooper sniper, there wouldn't be a dark or light requirement, didn't matter. However, when it came to the Force users like the Jedi Knight or the Sith Warrior, there would be some restrictions and some changes based on your Force alignment. However, a lot of players were very unclear about whether this would be a forced change or an option. One of the biggest examples I've seen that people were asking are, if I am a Sith Inquisitor and I am a light side Sith Inquisitor, so I'm Darth Imperius, will I be forced to be having a Jedi's power set? Will I be forced to be a Jedi Sage instead of a Sith Inquisitor sorcerer? Will I be forced to be a Shadow instead of an Assassin if I'm light side? This is fantastic. This new batch of information that they just released has confirmed that it will be an option. So no, if you are a Lightning Sith Inquisitor, you will not be forced to become telekinetics and throw rocks. Rejoice. There's also been a really great confirmation about the fact that if you currently have an existing character, you will be able to choose a combat style. You will not be locked out of this new system. And I'll be sharing a little more about that because I'm going to be reading the article in full to you guys. So I hope you enjoy this new batch of confirmed information. Woohoo! Hey Brian's, nice to see you. I'm glad you've been enjoying the game this whole time. I'm glad I'm able to share all the stuff I love about it with you so you can enjoy it too. Kenton says, one time I recorded gameplay not knowing my mic was on. Oh yeah, were you like... I just got water all over my face. I shouldn't have done that gag, sorry. Name, surname. I like your name. I don't like putting my real name into things either online. Love your content. Started SWTOR today. Okay, so Jumper says, I turned on the volume sensitivity. Yeah, I think that's about all you can do, right? So here comes the article. This part will be a bit easier for me because I won't have to make stuff up. Like, usually I write a script for myself, so I don't really like saying things on the fly. I feel like I don't get to the heart of the information fast enough when I'm trying to just explain stuff on the go. Separating story from gameplay. Coming soon. Oh, is there a play in the background? I don't know if you guys can hear that. Could the audio hear that? No, they couldn't hear it. I don't know what I'm worrying about. Should've just moved on. It was from a bottle and sounded like offensive rain. Kenton. Your rain is offensive to me. It's too loud. It's too gluggy. Separating story from gameplay. Coming soon in Legacy of the Sith, you'll have more options than ever to bring your personal Star Wars characters to life with combat styles. How's the game in 2021? Hey G2PO, I've actually got a fantastic, or what I think is a fantastic overview of the game. Especially if you are a returning player, I've got a video called, 2 videos on my channel. They're 20 minutes long each, so that's why I'm not going to give you the full overview here. So one is called, Is SWTOR Worth Playing in 2021? And Is SWTOR Worth Returning to in 2021? And basically, the answer is, what do you like? And if you're a returning player, why did you originally leave? So in those videos, I go through all of the different changes. If you have any specific questions you want to ask about any of the content in the game, or if you want to share when you last played and why you left, if you're a returning player, feel free to ask in chat and I'll answer in between audio recordings here. Oh my gosh, I like got everything in the wrong order now in the background. Yeah, cheat you too if you decide to join the game or return to the game. Welcome back. Here we go. When we first developed SWTOR, One of our goals was to enable players to create custom characters that reflected the ones you knew and loved from the Star Wars galaxy. So when we designed our 8-player classes, we tied each of them to the styles of combat we felt matched them best. For example, bounty hunters can fight with 2 blaster pistols like Jango Fett, troopers use blaster rifles like clone troopers, and so on. In gameplay terms, these options are your character's class and advanced class, with each class having access to only 2 advanced classes. And there's a beautiful picture of the big baddie, the Jedi Knight and his companion Kira here. Not actually relevant to the article, hilariously. They probably just had it in their screenshot folder and were like, we need some imagery at the top here. Over the years, more and more of the combat gameplay options in SWTOR have shifted out of the classes and into the advanced classes. And while advanced classes used to be selected after your character had gained a few levels, now they're an integral part of initial character creation. Your advanced class is what primarily decides your combat gameplay, while your class is almost entirely about your character's voice and storyline. I mean, sure, when people say, what's your favorite class? They're usually asking about the story, right? While the current array of class and advanced class options allows you to create characters resembling many of your favorite characters, they don't cover all of the most popular character/combat combinations from other Star Wars media. Boba Fett is a bounty hunter who primarily uses a rifle. Captain Rex is a soldier who fights with 2 pistols, and so on. Wouldn't it be great if SWTOR let you create and customize these awesome characters and more? Yes, I say. Trig, yeah, that's one of our unknown questions there. We'll be addressing what questions weren't answered, I think, at the end of this section. For Legacy of the Sith, our goal is to do just that by separating your combat gameplay choice, your advanced class, from your storyline choice, your class. You can make characters with new story and gameplay combinations that allow you to create your own personal Star Wars characters. In order to make the new options clearer, we've updated the names. Classes will become origin stories, embodying your character's voice, background, and where their story begins in the Old Republic. So outside of the article, I absolutely love this choice. Origin stories is actually a term that a lot of other games use to describe where does your character start? Who are they? And I think it's a really good description of what your class story is. It's your origin story. Who are you? Where do you start? Especially with the way the later expansions work, you often kind of merge together the storylines. So where is your origin is now going to be your class story. It will be called origin stories. Advanced classes will become combat styles, which determines how your character fights from level 1 and beyond. There are still 2 limitations on which combat styles are available to which origin stories. If your character has a blaster-wielding origin story, a trooper, bounty hunter, smuggler, or agent, they will have access to only the tech combat styles. So that would be Vanguard, Commando, Power Tech, Mercenary, Scoundrel, Gunslinger, Operative, and Sniper. Oh, we have all the charts we made last time we can reuse for this section. If your character has a Force-based origin story, Jedi Knight, Jedi Consular, Sith Warrior, or Sith Inquisitor, they will initially only have access to other Force-based combat styles that match their faction's overall alignment. Jedi Knights and Jedi Consulars will be able to choose between Guardian, Sentinel, Sage, or Shadow combat styles at level 1. Sith Warriors and Sith Inquisitors will be able to choose between Juggernaut, Marauder, Sorcerer, or Assassin combat styles at level 1. Zach says, where's the best place to swap insectoids for Galactic Seasons daily? Honestly, Zach, I never do that daily. I did that daily once, and I got so mad, I didn't want to go kill bugs, so I just refreshed it. Agent Joker said, hi, I just want to tell you you're great. Keep going. Thank you, Agent. It's good encouragement as we're in the middle of recording something, huh? So I'm going back up and catching it with chat. So Toby says, so frustrating. SWTOR isn't available in a Mac. Toby, I have some great news for you. Oh, you guys are going to see me searching for that good news in the background, huh? SWTOR can be played on a Mac. It can't be played by default, like right out the box. But you totally can play on a Mac. Basically, if you know what wine is, you do it with that. And there's a wonderful player whose name is Agent. Not the agent in chat, a different agent. And they have been maintaining a guide on how to play a Mac for literally years now, and they keep updating it. So I have linked something for you in chat so you can go and follow that guide on how to play SWTOR on a Mac. I think quite a few players actually do, because the option exists, and if you have a Mac, you might as well use it, right? Perry was talking about, like, is SWTOR worth returning to? Perry said, this game has changed so much since the start that people really need to try playing it now with these great changes. Yeah, that's why one of my questions is, like, why did you originally leave? How long ago did you play? If you last played 5 months ago, nothing's changed. But if you last played, like, 9 years ago, there's going to be a lot that's different that you might like a lot more. Do you know when the patch with the Steadfast Master armor is coming? Oh, right. So we showed in one of our other videos, there's a Obi-Wan Kenobi style of armor that looks really good to me. I really like it. We don't know when it's coming out. It was on the public test server, so we have zero info about whether it will come out for sure and when it will come out. It could be as far away as the expansion. I hate to burst the bubble. We don't know what's coming in between there. This is where the fun begins. Zake says, this makes me curious how they're going to handle the cutscenes that utilize specific weapons. It kind of cracks me up because I've been playing a trooper since the launch of the game, and the trooper has literally never gotten to use their blaster rifle in cutscenes this whole time. They always just have this generic blaster pistol. So everyone's been saying that. I'm like, they're just going to do nothing. Those weapons are not going to show up in the cutscenes at all. You're just going to have whatever your default weapon was. Sorry, suckers. Oh, I like Jango Fett's suggestion. Maybe you would just turn on one side of the blade. That makes things easy, right? Mohammed says, wait, so now I can be a Jedi Juggernaut? Holy moly, that's so cool. Yeah. So I think you would have to be dark side, and I think that's what we're about to read in the article. But you won't be able to do it at level 1, but you could eventually be. HK51 says, declaration. Hello, Swtorista. That's not a declaration, that's a greeting. Hey there. My trooper being a sniper is going to be so cool. Yeah, I think I'm trying to choose between, for my trooper, I want to sometimes be a stealther. So I want to choose between the scoundrel and the operative. I haven't picked yet. It's really hard. Both are super fun, but they're mirrors of each other. Jawface says, I checked out the new feast outfit on the PTS on Nar Shaddaa, and some parts of it looked really great. Oh, Jawface, I never even thought of going there. You're not talking about the orange one with the, like, weird wings out the back, right? You're talking about something new? Oh, that's cool. I didn't even think to go poking around there. I don't know if I've seen that anywhere yet. All right, let's carry on with this more information here. Let's drink some more water too. If your character's choices lead them away from their faction's alignment and down the path of light side or dark side, they will eventually unlock the option to pick the other faction's combat styles in addition to their own. This little tidbit right here is something that a lot of Star Wars: The Old Republic players were very excited to see. Up until this point, it wasn't clear if you would be forced to take that opposite faction's kind of alignment combat style, or if it would be a choice. And a lot of players were like, no, don't take away my dark side powers. And so it's really great to have that confirmation in writing that you won't be able to be the opposite alignment at level 1, but later down the road, you will have the option to change if you choose to. Did they give Swtorista a job at BioWare? No. I'm just making a video. I'm just making a video. I would hope they don't make me, if I worked for BioWare, I would hope they don't make me work on a Saturday morning. That's sad. Amanda, we don't know yet. We have no idea about those type of questions. I assume that the original cutscenes are not going to change. Well, I don't know the answer. Okay, let's catch up. With this new separation of origin story and combat style, there are so many new possibilities to play your character's story any way you choose. But what does this look like in game? There are a few different ways you'll make this decision. If you're creating a new character, you'll first choose your origin story, then your combat style. This offers you the choice upfront so you can start your journey with a story and playstyle combination that works for the type of character you want to play. So what did this little tidbit mean in the article? This means that when you go to create your super cool Jedi Knight, you'll choose the Jedi Knight, and then you'll have the option to be a Jedi Knight Guardian, a Jedi Knight Sentinel, or picking up some of the Jedi Counselor's advanced classes, the Jedi Knight Sage or the Jedi Knight Shadow. You'll have that choice right from the get-go. If you create a boosted character, you will choose your origin story, then combat style in a similar way to new character creation. If you have an existing character when Legacy of the Sith launches, when you log into the game, you will be able to choose a combat style immediately. You can choose a combat style similar to your previous advanced class, or choose something new. The choice is yours. By separating story and gameplay, you'll have access to unrivaled customization for your characters in Star Wars: The Old Republic. Ta-da! That's the article. So now we're gonna go find something else. So I made a list of questions. The top one! The top one is, will you be able to change existing characters' advanced classes to one of the new combat styles, or will the combat styles option be limited to only new characters created after the expansion launches? Answered! And the second question was about the Sith Inquisitor and lightning and stuff like that. Good. Do I choose my combat style character creation, or choose it later? Nice. Can I change my combat style? I think that's one of the biggest questions that's not finished. So let's start going over some of these questions that aren't answered. So this fantastic article answered some of the most pressing questions that players had about combat styles. I'm very pleased that they put it out, and it also kind of clarified things for players who weren't quite sure about the information that was presented in the live stream. So now let's talk about some of the questions that still are not answered yet. Like I said, I'm very pleased with that article, but I still have more questions. I am very happy with what was released though. One of the biggest questions that I've seen coming up now that we have this new information is, can I change my combat style? Can I change it later? How hard is it to change my combat style later? Is there a time limit or a cost to change or any other limitations? We're still waiting for a lot of information about that. Kind of wrapped into that same question is, when can I change my combat style? Can I change it during a flashpoint, between bosses in an operation, once I'm in a war zone? What are the rules for that? There's also a lot of cosmetic questions. For example, my Sith Inquisitor will be using lightning in a cutscene, but what happens if I switch them over to being a Sith Inquisitor Sage? They won't have lightning anymore. Will they still use lightning in a cutscene? What about if I'm a Sith Warrior who normally would have a Marauder with 2 lightsabers, but I switch over to being a Shadow that only has a double-bladed lightsaber? What will show up in the cutscenes? We don't know about that. There's also lots of questions like, will outfits, the outfit designer. Oh, that one got funky. Like, will outfit, there's also lots of questions. One of the questions that's been around since, probably since outfit designers were launched years ago is, will weapons be in the outfit designer? Fingers crossed, hopefully they will, but still haven't heard any information about that. A question I keep seeing coming up that I probably have some disappointing theories on is that, will I be able to continue using the gear that I've earned for this character? Will my set bonus still be applicable? If I'm playing a Sith Inquisitor Sorcerer now, but I I switch over to Sith Warrior Marauders as my advanced class, can I still use my same gear? We do not have any official information about this at all, but I just wanted to let you know, in Star Wars The Old Republic's history, every time we have a new expansion, basically your old gear becomes obsolete. You can kind of still wear it, but there's a whole new tier of gear to get and a whole new set of set bonuses to get. We've had a new introduction of the items called tacticals. We'll see where that fits in. We're not quite sure yet. But I will also say, in addition to this, they've been showing some changes to the classes on the test server that we'll talk about at the end of this video. And they also bode towards the idea that you'll probably have to get a whole new set of gear for all of your characters and classes and combat styles that you want to play no matter what once the expansion drops. Is it a normal thing? Anime Wolf, I'm glad you're enjoying seeing this. Yeah, Mohammed, I like this change a lot. I like that you can still just keep playing your class the way it was before. You don't have to change if you don't want to, but it gives you the option. I think that's super, super cool. Vittner says, Audacity is a great program. Also use it and gives you a lot, and it's free. Love your videos. Yeah, Vittner, I'm so happy. I don't know why it's free. It's amazing. Trig says, disappointing that they couldn't add one more paragraph to say yeah or nay to changing combat styles down the road. For all we know, they haven't 100% decided that. But like, I guess the only reason I actually sent them this giant list of questions on the right when the live stream first came out, I sent them this. I was like, here's my questions. Deal with them. These are what the players are asking. So this article is actually the first time they've answered any, which is crazy. I'm just catching up. Some other questions that some players have had. Oh, I don't think the rest really matter, to be honest. They're like minor questions that don't matter super in the end. Like the developers need to answer them at some point, but we don't care too much about them. Of course, when this idea of combat styles was first shown in the live stream, players freaked out and their imaginations went absolutely wild, and in the best way. Star Wars is all about imagination and what if, and creating these unique types of characters. And so some of these questions came out with players not quite understanding what the system was, but kind of dreaming and wishing what it was. So here's some of those questions. Will we ever be able to keep our combat style, our current one, but only change weapons? For example, becoming a double-bladed lightsaber marauder. Doesn't look like this is going to happen. He never said this is what would happen. I just wanted to confirm that they haven't said that, yes, this is going to happen down the road. Will we ever be able to be a pistol-wielding Jedi? They also never said that Force users would be able to use the tech classes, advanced classes. I know a lot of you played Knights of the Old Republic, and that was an option back then. You could be literally a Jedi with double pistols. Doesn't sound like that's going to happen anytime soon, if ever. Here's a funny one that I never thought of, but seems to be on your guys' imaginative minds. Will we ever be able to mix and match mirror abilities, like have some Imperial Power Tech animations and some Republic Vanguard animations? For example, I'm a Sith Warrior Juggernaut, and defaultly I have Force Choke. Will we be able to customize, so even if we were on the light side, we could keep Force Choke, or would it be forced to change into Force Stasis? So the answer is, they haven't said anything about this. I think it's pretty safe to assume you're only going to have one or the other. You'll either be a Marauder or not a Marauder, you know? Like, you're going to be a Juggernaut or you're going to be a Guardian. You're not going to be able to mix and match between them. And lastly, oh, that was way too loud. And lastly, will we ever be able to mix and match our abilities regardless of combat style? For example, have both Sorcerer, powers and marauder abilities on the same character at the same time. I don't think that's going to happen. That would be a nightmare to balance. They definitely have not said anything like that is going to happen. Is it confirmed if this expansion will have a new cinematic trailer? Those are always fun. No, we haven't heard anything about that, Laurent. I don't actually even have a guess about whether there will be one or not. The last expansion didn't have one. And I'm kind of glad because the last expansion didn't really warrant one. The last expansion wasn't bad. I just don't know anybody who loved it beyond compare, you know? The next expansion seems like it has a pretty cool concept and some really major interesting changes to the game, including combat styles, so maybe it will be worth it for them to make one? I don't know. Why are you guys talking about Gungans? What did I miss? My goodness. Gerald Pfeiffer says, does anyone else hear Sega in the character selection music? Are you talking about like Sega? Bum, 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 bum. Is that what we're talking about here? Yeah, Mohammed, I think something's gonna Mohammed said, I'd like to have weapons to be in the outfit designer, but to be limited to your class's combat style. So you can have a double blade lightsaber, but you have a normal lightsaber on your gear. Ah, that's interesting. I have no idea how that's going to work. I don't even have a guess. They're going to have their hands full figuring that out for sure. Oh, okay, sorry. Jawa Face says, I loved Onslaught a lot. I'm sorry, Jawa Face. You're the first person I think I've heard say that. But I'm glad you liked it. I quite liked it. I liked Meg Shaw. I liked Onderon. But the story for me was kind of, I kind of don't really care about it. Darth Llama said, no question, just want to say thanks for your tutorial videos. I recently started and your videos have made the game much easier to learn. Hey, welcome to the game. I'm glad the videos are helping you jump into things. A petition for Swtorista to do a whole video with a thick southern accent. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I am from the Texas of Canada, so sure we could whip something funny up. Hey there, Scorpio. Trig said if you include Osis and Echoes of Oblivion as part of Onslaught, it's really as good as a full package. You're right, Trig. I loved Osis, and I loved Echoes of Oblivion. Wah! Love to all of those, so... And Jawa Face, story-wise, it's certainly more mundane than Copy and Koteb for sure. Yeah, those two... More mundane. I think mundane's a good way to describe Onslaught's story, and that's why I don't have that much thoughts on it. But Echoes and Osis, I really liked all of that business. So next up, let's go talk about what's on the dev tracker. I need to go find it. Oh gosh, it's too big. Gotta scroll over apparently. Howdy, eh? How you doing, eh? I'm looking for that's the post I'm looking for. This post, it's like a year long. Got it. Let's hack the mainframe here and make it so it's small enough that I can read it. Should use suckers is just it's for the width here. What? 600 pixels? Oh, that'd be a little smaller. 500? Yeah, there we go. Now here's where things get interesting if you haven't been following Star Wars The Old Republic's test server and dev tracker and discussion forums. What I didn't know when I made the last video was that they were also going to be making some major changes to the classes. What they said in the live stream was that kind of made it sound like they'll make some minor changes to the classes. They always do, but it didn't seem like any drastic things were going to be happening, just this cool option to switch between advanced classes. We got completely blindsided by the public test server when they launched it to show the test server allows players to test things before they are completely finished, before they make it to the live server and be allowed to give feedback about what they see and feel about what's there. What we saw on the test server was some major changes to the way that classes work compared to how they do now. I'm going to not talk, I'll give a full overview of that, but I am going to read a reply post that was said by the developers in reply to players giving feedback. Players gave a lot of feedback. One of the most common feedbacks was that I am upset that you are reducing the number of abilities that my class has. The most classic example is for the Jedi Knight Guardian tank. At level 70 with this new system, they would have to choose between 3 abilities. One of them is called Blade Blitz, one of them is called Saber Reflect or Saber Ward, and one of them is called Annure. One's a heal, one's a very cool defensive move, and one's a super cool movement ability. And it was very surprising to see that as a choice, because in the current game, you have all 3. At level 70 or 75, they're a part of your toolkit, and you've been learning how to use all 3 to survive really tough battles, and they're all very interesting to me. I consider them all kind of very important part of the class. What do you think about the latest Bad Batch episode? I actually haven't watched Bad Batch yet. Don't hate me. I haven't caught up. I haven't caught up at all. I caught up with, I got Clone Wars Season 7, and then I watched Rebels, and then I didn't watch any more Star Wars. Star Wars fans want Darth Sashi. Oh my, Kenton. You're an odd one. So here we go. We wanted to bring clarity to some of the feedback we've been reading. First, we would like to share our philosophy on reducing the number of defensive cooldowns available. Over several years and updates, more and more defensive cooldowns and abilities have been added to the game. Oftentimes, this was for class balance purposes, to allow some classes to keep up with others in terms of their defensive kit. Additionally, this was done without adjusting things like Operation Boss mechanics, which were designed around the class kits available at the time, mainly less defensive cooldowns. Oh no, I'm losing my voice! The sheer quantity of defensive cooldowns in the game today makes things more difficult to balance for both PvE and PvP. It has made some PvE mechanics completely avoidable, and made the time to kill metric in PvP grow steadily to the point where we are approaching tedious levels. In 7.0, we want to reduce the quantity of defensive skills overall, across all classes, making for a more balanced and enjoyable experience in both PvE and PvP content, while at the same time making the defenses that remain more impactful and fun. What does this look like in both modes? In PvP, our intent is balanced, more dynamic player encounters that move away from rotating defensive cooldowns and move more towards utilizing a broader set of skills in each class's kit. In PvE, our intent is to take into account these changes and adjust NPC encounters as needed to compensate. Getting a bit more specific, we also intend to give upgraded versions of abilities when being presented as a choice. Here's one example using Blade Blitz from the current public test server. Blade Blitz in the live game is a 45-second cooldown. It allows you to quickly rush forward 20 meters, dealing weapon damage to enemies in your path and increasing your defense chances by 100% while blitzing. It can't be used while immobilized or hindered. This is Blade Blitz on the public test server. It only has a 35-second cooldown, so you can use it more often. It allows you to quickly rush forward 20 meters, dealing weapon damage to enemies in your path and increasing your defensive chance by 100% while blitzing. It can also be used while immobilized and purges movement impairing effects when activated. Instead of spending utility points to upgrade abilities, as in the current system, you will be presented with an already upgraded version of several abilities to choose between, leading to a more interesting decision-making, customization, and greater choice for your kit. Do you think the recent stuff in WoW, Final Fantasy will interest new players for SWTOR right now? I don't want to talk about WoW, to be honest. Final Fantasy, though, I'm kind of interested. I don't know I feel like the people playing Final Fantasy who are checking out Final Fantasy right now are mainly already MMO players who have just like, who are playing other games or who had put down MMOs for a while. They're not like bringing brand new people into the ecosystem. So we'll kind of see, I guess. I know Star Wars: The Old Republic is bringing people in by the things that it does, not necessarily what other people are doing right now. So it's very interesting. When The Mandalorian came out, it brought a bunch of people back to SWTOR or to start SWTOR because they're like, ooh, Star Wars. But Star Wars: The Old Republic's been doing its own thing for the last 2 times we had a resurgence. So the last time we had a resurgence was when it came out on Steam. So the developer team did a bunch of work to make sure Star Wars: The Old Republic could be on Steam. And this brought a ton of players back, and it introduced a ton of new players to the game. So amazing! The next thing that they did was they announced they're going to do an expansion. And just the announcement of the expansion being public brought a bunch more people, and it also brought some well-known streamers to go check out the game again before the expansion launches, which also brought some more people in. So it's very interesting. Yeah, we'll see. The next time we'll get a resurgence will basically be at the expansion, and how many people join is going to depend most on what they do to market it. So we'll see what they do. We'll see what they get up to and how much they can share that the expansion is coming. Steam crashed the game, good times. Megan says, I started playing because it came to Steam. Yeah, exactly. And Megan, you're not the only one. A lot of players jumped in because of this. I'm just kind of catching up here with chat. I'll talk about Valkorin. I'll leave you guys to it. Where are we at? A greater choice for your kit. Oh, I almost reread it by accident. In addition to defensive cooldowns, we want to streamline other abilities where it makes sense. For example, instead of dedicating an entirely separate ability and button press to a particular effect, we want to merge or combine them with others in an intuitive way. We can see this in action on the public test server with Freezing Force. Freezing Force is removed from the Guardian on the public test server, but a modification to Bladestorm through the new ability choice tree upgrades system, Bladestorm is now an AoE that also slows. This offers a similar effect to the old ability, but in a more efficient way. I think this video is getting really long. I think I might actually cut it into 2 different videos. Like, BioWare answers questions or something about combat styles. Or new class changes. I don't know. The intent of the new ability system, which will replace the current utility point system, is that players can now make meaningful choices to accommodate their play style or situational needs. Players will be able to pick their own ability modifications and customize their skills in this manner, with all of those choices able to be saved to a loadout. Loadouts will be able to be swapped with similar ease to the current utility point system. While the ability choice interface and loadout features are still in development, those experiences are core to the system, and we are working hard to get them to a state where they can be shared on the test server in a future update. We will share more details in the future on both of these features. Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix is asking, like, is leveling still super fast? And the answer is yes. Leveling is still super, super fast. I don't know if you noticed while you were playing, but your level doesn't actually affect things too negatively, which is where things are different from the launch of the game. So you would have been level 75, and you're doing these quests on, like, I don't know, a beginner planet like Narration or something. You're still getting some awesome level 75 rewards. You're not getting XP anymore, but you're getting Renown XP, which will get you gear, which is really great. And you're still getting credits for level 75, even though you're doing these low-level quests. So while it kind of feels weird to be a high level and to be doing low-level quests, the game knows. The game understands that you shouldn't get garbage rewards just because you're too high a level, and it basically sinks you. You may have also noticed that it sinks you down to the planet level. So if you didn't like that, nothing's changed since then. And so there's nothing I can say that'll change your mind. But I really actually like this system. I like it a lot more than back in the day if you accidentally went to a level 30 planet and you were level 40, it gave you just poop. It gave you garbage. It gave you like 5 credits and you're like, oh, okay, thanks. Dark Phoenix says, I played last time in June in 2020. I will say, I don't know. Oh gosh, but you haven't had a chance to try the expansions yet, right? Because you were still on those lower level planets. Because quite a new expansion has come out since you last played, but you wouldn't quite be there yet. So it doesn't matter too much to you, I think. Kenton says, I used to play RuneScape. Me too! I used to play RuneScape as well. I like the questing system there. Llama says, I like sci-fi stuff. I play a lot of Star Trek Online, but it's become... Oh, I'm sorry to hear. Yeah, so SWTOR is... I mean, Darth Llama says, I don't like that Star Trek is a cash grab. I mean, Star Wars The Old Republic can be very expensive if you want it to be. Honestly, I mostly recommend that people subscribe to the game, because then you get all the... basically the full gameplay experience. But I mean, if you start buying, you can start buying those $40 lightsabers if you want to. I don't recommend it, but those options are kind of there too. Like, not gonna lie and say that SWTOR doesn't have similar features either. Darth Llama says I started playing during a double XP event. I didn't know it was double XP. I always wonder about that. Like, someone starts playing at double XP and they're like, holy crap, I'm level 40 and I'm still on my first planet. I know, why is this game so weird? How worth it is it to get the artifact gear license if you're not subscribed anyway? Suna Surugi, I personally don't think it's worth it, because if you're not subscribed to the game, there's very little content that you can do that you would need or want that super awesome gear for. And second, the places that you can get super awesome gear from, like new places, new gear is very limited when you're preferred at level 75. So it's kind of like a waste of credits right now. In the past, that wasn't true. In the past, the artifact authorization had a more value to it, because you could still go do operations as a preferred player and stuff like that. Yeah, Dave, I'm pretty happy with the state of the game that you don't have to go buy that $40 lightsaber. I'm glad that I don't feel like I have to recommend it or anything like that. Contra Frog said, returning player of 6-year break. Thanks for making content. It's been a godsend coming back to SWTOR. Contra Frog, welcome back to the game. Can I ask you what made you leave the game originally and what brought you back, out of curiosity? Because we've kind of been talking about that today. Dark Phoenix says, yeah, I started playing Final Fantasy. Gotten about every job max and wasn't in touch with SWTOR since. Oh, Phoenix, I'm glad you're enjoying Final Fantasy. Yeah, a lot of my friends have been checking it out lately too. Hey there, Adzer. Blazin said, my game keeps crashing to Windows since the patch. Oh no, Blazin! I hope you know, I don't feel like going through the troubleshooting steps right now, but I hope you know, update your drivers, repair your SWTOR files, and turn down your graphics and see how it goes. So Contrafrog said, yeah, I lost interest as my family was playing World of Warcraft, so SWTOR got lost among the other games I was playing and had time for. Oh yeah, that's a really good reason. My friends and family were not playing, so I went with them. I don't know, MMOs for me are all about playing with other people, so especially if my family wasn't playing, I'd probably be like, bye everybody. Oh, welcome back. There you go. Mark says, me too, returning player after a few years. Nice. Good doggo. Oh, your name is adorable. How is the multiplayer stuff in SWTOR? I always avoided it and just played the story. So, good doggo. The great news is that the story is the strongest part of the game. The story in Star Wars The Old Republic is what really sets it apart from any other online game, basically. It's the best part. So, a lot of players actually just play solo. However, with that said, I'm a huge, huge fan of the group stuff. It can be a mixed bag, I won't lie. Sometimes you'll run group stuff and you'll meet... To use our nice words, Swtorista. Meet... This is hard. Bantha Poodoo players. But you also meet a lot of nice people who just want to play with other people. One of the ways we suggest to people... I gotta switch screens real fast and I'll show you guys something. So I don't accidentally like show you my password or anything. There we go. One of the ways we suggest for other people, there you go. Dave's got a good word, toxic players. One of the ways we suggest to people to find other players who are nice to play with, whether you're doing PvP or you want to do flashpoints or you want to do those high level operations, which are literally my favorite thing in the game. Like I love them so much, is to join a guild. And I'm actually going to link this for you. I'm going to try really hard to link it for you. Oh, I struggle with streaming on YouTube here. Here we go. Is to join a guild, and we've actually put together a service, or rather a website, to help you find some other people to play with if you want to ever give that a shot. Do you have players on Darth Malgus? No, I'm only on Starforge. That's it. Yeah, so good doggo. From what I've heard, Final Fantasy tends to be very friendly. I think it's just because everyone's in the honeymoon phase with it right now. But I don't know where SWTOR sits compared to WoW for the community, but it's a very mixed bag. Lots of great people, lots of not so great people. I mean, I literally met Mr. Swtorista through SWTOR, so I figure it can't be that bad, you know? Amanda has a very interesting question. Do you know if there are many girls playing? And it's kind of a weird question at the surface, but it's a very important question for players who have had bad experiences in the past or want to be treated well, especially ladies on the internet. Amanda, I've told the story before, but when I was first looking for a guild, I said, can I find a guild that's going to treat me okay? Because I'm a lady. I don't want to be yelled at or said weird things to. I still don't want that now. But Amanda, is very interesting. The player base of Star Wars The Old Republic is the intersection between people who like video games, any type of video games, at all, ever, doesn't matter what it was, and where's my other hand? People who like Star Wars. And women have been liking Star Wars since when it came out, 1977. And a lot more women have been playing online games, especially since I first started. When I first started playing in my guild, in my group of players, I was the only woman. And then a little while later, there was another woman. I was like, oh my God, there's two of us. Amazing. But now I've noticed there's a lot more of a mix of different people online. Like not just lady, gentleman, they, trans, whatever. Also ages. There's a huger age range now. I remember when the game first came out, it was mainly like 16-year-olds. I don't know, 16 to like 20. Now there's a huge range of people just starting out their online gaming all the way up to like their 40s or their 50s. And lots of people from all over the US too. So super, and of course you weird Europeans. Hey, everybody. How many girls are playing? I don't know. Does it feel like I'm the only woman playing anymore? Absolutely not. I actually get to play with a ladies' night raid that I got invited to, so that's been fun. So very, very cool. I hope that alleviates some of your fears. But one of the things I do suggest, if this is something you're worried about, whether you're a lady or maybe you are gay or bi, or maybe you are a minority, or maybe you just want to be treated well and are scared about it, I suggest looking for a guild. Same thing. I'll link this again. Because there's more social responsibility there. Hi, come on, I can do it. There we go. A lot of the players that you meet while just playing online, when you're using the random group finder or just run across them in general chat, they have no social responsibility to you. And that means they're not going to see you tomorrow. So they can treat you like garbage. No one in chat's going to see them again tomorrow, and you're not going to see them again tomorrow, and whatever they say now is gone. There's no consequences down the road. When you're in a guild, you know the people you're talking and playing with, they're going to see you tomorrow. Leadership's going to see them tomorrow. You're probably going to play with them in the future. So it gives them not only the chance to be kinder, because there's more consequences, but also there's more of a chance for them to invest in you. Like, hey, I know you're new. Do you want to come for this flashpoint? And then you'll be able to play with them down the road too. Maybe help them with their operation or something, you know? So I super recommend looking for a guild. Ogden says, I'd really love to be in that kind of environment. I think a lot of people will. Like I was naming some of the groups that are especially wary of it, but I think a lot of people would really like that. I'd like to be in a guild that doesn't scream at me. So this guild finder, I hope, will help you find that. I can't promise all the guilds on there are good, but I can promise you that you'll be able to kind of research a little bit before you start. So the way it works is you choose your server. If a faction is important to you, you would choose that too. And what I usually recommend if you're especially worried about finding a guild that treats people well, rather than just focused on, I like to do flashpoints. I just want to not be screamed at. I look for the words social, look for the words mature, look for the words respect, and things like that. Because these are whatever goals that guild wants to embody. So yeah, sorry for the diatribe. It's something that's very, very close to my heart. And I hope you guys are able to find a guild that matches up for you guys. Okay, where are we at? Oh, that's the wrong button. Ogden says, I hope you have a fun stream. Thank you. BJ Rosen says, my guild has strict rules about not being mean to anyone in chat or private message. It's an insta-ban. Yeah, there's absolutely guilds like that. For other people, they're like, oh my god, I don't want to watch what I have to say. I just want to play. I just want to be an adult. I want to be able to use my big girl words. I want to be able to make naughty jokes. And there's guilds like that too. Maybe that's the environment that you're looking for, to really chill out and be yourself without having to restrict your language in any way. And same thing. I hope you find that environment that you feel comfortable in. I don't know if the guild finder is going to help you find that one, but I hope you are able to find it. I don't think any of the guilds on there say we like to say our no words, but maybe you can find one on there that says 18 plus or something like that. Roman says, I pretty much only played SWTOR for the RP aspect. Oh, very nice. Very nice. How do you... Oh, you like the immersiveness of the game, or actually role-playing with other people, Roman? Steven says, yeah, there are a ton of 18 plus guilds, but most of them still won't tolerate being rude or mean. Right. And that's what I'm talking about, that social responsibility, because we're going to see you down the road. QSF says, I have the power of the dark side. Lilith says, I'm also a lady who's just returned to SWTOR this year after playing the first 6 months of release. I'm doing solo play at the moment, but I'm enjoying it. And this is what's so freaking cool to me. The ladies, they're all coming out of the woodworks in the last few years, I feel like. I felt like when I first started creating content, it was just I was kind of like by myself. But there's so many more women playing, and so many more women are more comfortable saying, hey, yes, I am a lady, versus, oh my god, I can't turn on my microphone because someone's going to say weird things to me. So I'm super happy for you guys, and I hope that environment continues. And the few little turd munchers that say mean things to you, regardless of who you are, whether you're a lady or you're a gentleman or somewhere in between, I hope those bad experiences don't ruin your ability to go find those cool people who are hanging out there. And like I said, the guild's the best way to do it, I think. Oh, Jawa Face says, my co-GM, my co-guild leader in my guild, is an older woman in her 60s. We've been co-running the guild for like 3 years now. That's crazy. I've only met 1 or 2 people up in the highest brackets of age level. Do most guilds act welcoming towards free-to-play players, or is expected will be subscribers? Oh, that's a great question. I know we've kind of veered off from behind the scenes. I hope that's okay with you guys. I need to drink more water. I want to answer that question, but I don't want to die and I'm out of water, so I'm going to be right back, okay? If I forget, remind me what we were going to talk about, because I love that question. Callum says, I can't seem to understand where to start the Onslaught story. You can start it at level 70 on your ship. You may need to be level 71, I'm not sure. And it'll be called Jedi Under Siege, I believe, and rather than Onslaught. BRB. Okay, we back? Yeah, you can hear me? I remember to unmute myself. Perfect. Laser asked, I'm level 55 on my Jedi Consular, and yet I can't complete the Ilum story. Any advice? Yeah, so where are you stuck? Are you stuck because you can't figure out where to go with the quest? Are you stuck with a specific fight? Are you doing the flashpoint? Do you know what the quest is called? We'll see what we can figure out for you. And BJ said, oh, Swtorista, we have an officer in our guild who is 60 plus as well. It's not as uncommon as you'd think. Maybe they're just like the ladies of SWTOR. They're out there, but we don't know about them. Shh. Okay. Right, so Ogden asked, do most guilds act welcoming towards free-to-play players, or is it expected that will be subscribed? Okay, so once again, if you're in a garbage guild run by a garbage person who isn't ready to be interacting with other people yet, kindly, maybe they probably shouldn't be a guild leader, but I'm sure there will be people who say like, oh my god, fucking free-to-play, I can't even do anything. With that said, if you're in a normal guild, I don't think most guilds care too much. If you're just looking to chat and stuff like that, free to play is perfectly fine. I think you'll need to get to level 25 before you can chat with other people, which is a restriction that they made to kind of help prevent gold spammers. They used to be a lot worse putting spam in the chat. So that can be a bit rough. So if you're level 15, you won't be able to talk to your guild that I know of, which is rough. If you're like high level though, you could do flashpoints with your guild. That's a really great thing you can do. I don't think you'd be able to do master mode flashpoints, but if anyone's just running veteran mode or wants a buddy to go do any of the solo quests, you'd be good to go. Where it starts getting tricky is operations. Operations are one of the big activities that guilds like to do together because you can take along 8 people. Free-to-play are completely locked out of this. So you might have trouble getting into some of the activities that they do. When it comes to PvP, another activity that guilds like to do together, I just ate honey and water at the same time, and now I have like, that's like stuck in me. There are brackets, basically. Like you're sectioned off by level for player versus player content, and level 75 is going to be the most common bracket because that's the highest one for players. And if you're level 60, you're pure free to play. You won't be able to join most players unless they happen to be in the same, I think it's like 41 to 74 bracket as you, so it also gets hard to join for that kind of stuff. So I'm not saying they'll be rude to you, but you might have a lot of trouble connecting with them. However, like I said, you can do any veteran mode flashpoints as a free-to-play. You can help anyone with their story. You could go on world boss hunts. You could go on datacron hunts, but you're going to occasionally feel a bit excluded. So as long as you're okay with that, you're good to go, if that makes sense. Lee says we had a 75-year-old raid leader in SWTOR. Bring it! That's amazing. Jawaface says we always welcomed any type of players. We got quite a few free-to-play ones too. Jawaface, out of curiosity, how do you handle kind of the idea that free-to-play are locked out of some activities? Kind of gets tricky there. Oh, sweet. So Laser said they are getting stuck. I think it's funny. A couple players are saying in chat, look up a specific video. It's the prelude story. Right after I complete my consular story, Lord Layat always kills me before I can kill her. If only I could get past her somehow. That's so funny. A bunch of players actually guessed which one you were getting stuck at too. So I don't know that fight off the top of my head. But Jacob said, for the Lord Layat fight, you must first clear the entire room before facing her, because she'll call all remaining characters to help her. Dawn Newbie said, check YouTube videos for the Lord Layat fight. So there's some answers for you specific to that fight, and I'm also going to show you something that I made, because I get a lot of questions like that, like I'm stuck at this point, how do I get past it? And I'm like, I don't even remember that fight. I did it 9 years ago. I'm not going to be very helpful. This is a fantastic guide that I made. It's fantastic. I can toot it. I can toot my own horn. And it's a list of things to look at when it comes to a fight you get stuck at. So you'll already have done number 1. You're the correct level. Number 2, make sure this is a solo fight. If it's not in a flashpoint, you're good to go. And here's the rest. Here's the rest of my suggestions that you can take advantage of without me knowing what fight it is. So hopefully between number 3 and down, which I just linked in chat for you, you'll be able to find enough advice to get her done. Good luck. What about those of us who only play single player? Do we get something or nothing if you are like me, single player? Leveling up takes forever and lower level enemies in story mode kills you easy. Joachim, hey there. I disagree with you greatly. So whether you're doing multiplayer content or whether you're doing only solo player ever, when you go do leveling, it's the same. It'll be the same. And it's actually a lot of those things you're mentioning, like leveling up takes forever and lower level enemies in story mode kills you easy. So if they're killing you easy, you actually want to go to this same guide that I just linked at swtorista.com/article/SWTOR. I don't know, whatever the link says. It's called Difficult Fights. That'll help you learn how to get better in combat, how to use your companion better, how to understand fights and your roles a lot better. The main story out in the open world is actually designed to be played solo. If you happen to have a friend with you, that's kind of like a strange case, like it's uncommon. The other thing I can show you is, oh my god, I level so slow. So level fast SWTOR. I've got a bunch of tips if you want to level fast. I actually don't really like to level up fast. To be honest, I feel like I level up too fast a lot of the time. But if you need some more tips, level fast. I also linked a second guide in the chat for you. I just googled Swtorista how to level up fast and it came up fairly quick. And yeah, so I hope those two things help you feel a little more comfortable in the world of Star Wars: The Old Republic. I should finish recording this thing before I lose my voice. Where the heck am I? The future update. We will share more details in the future on both of these features. Both of these features. Okay, right there. And I need to make it all fit in the box. Oh, I almost started singing a song about a box. That was not appropriate. Good job, Swtorista. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We're doing some narration. One of the reasons we wanted to share these class changes with our players so early is because we wanted to get your feedback, as we are still in the design phase of several other classes. As stated previously, you are not playing a final product on the test server. While very rough around the edges, the earlier we can share impactful changes like this, the more we can take into account your feedback as we continue building out the remaining classes and iterating on ones you're able to try out on the test server. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna split this into 2 videos. Oh man, I didn't realize it was so long. Lastly, for this phase of PTS, this public's... Oh, I don't need to say PTS because nobody knows what that is. Lastly, for this phase of the test server, the Jedi Guardian was missing both their breaker, their stun breaker called Resolute, and their interrupt called Force Kick. We understand that players may be worried about what that means for 7.0. It was never our intention to completely remove these from the game. We realize this has caused confusion, so we are going to add these back for the next phase of test server with the caveat that they may change form in the future. We are currently iterating on different ways of utilizing the stun breaker functionality that doesn't necessarily require an independent icon on your hotbar, as well as considering where interrupts fit in with the overall class and encounter design of 7.0, the expansion. Because of this, we didn't include those in the testable ability set on the test server. Please keep in mind that breakers and interrupts will remain in-game, they just might not appear in the same form as they are now. Thank you for playing the test server and giving us your constructive feedback. Okay, so I need to figure out where we started reading this and like chop it. We're gonna chop it. Oh, that was not the right button. With this new separation of origin story and combat style, that's the other thing. If you create a boosted character... Oh, we're getting close to the end of that article. So this fantastic article answered... A question I keep seeing coming up that I probably have some disappointing theories on is that... Oh, right. I wanted to go over the questions. I think that is important. Ever? Here's a funny one that I never thought of, but seems to be on your guys' imaginative minds. Will we ever... going to happen? Now, here's where things get interesting if you haven't been following... Here's where things get interesting. Yeah, that's one way to put it, Swtorista. LOL. Okay, how long was that? So from 13 minutes to... Oh, wow. Reading out that developer post? That was about 8 minutes long. So, dev post. We'll save that. And close that. And delete that. And go back to the beginning. So this other video about combat styles is still gonna be like 13 minutes long. Okay. Alright. I don't think that's... Have a good one, Sabin. I hope that helped answer some of the questions you had about combat styles from their individual article or some of... Oh, no. What do we want to say there? I hope going over that article helped you understand what's going on with combat styles and helped answer some of your most pressing questions. And I also hope going over those unanswered questions was useful to you. There's also another important factor when it comes to combat styles that I'll be going over in a separate video, as this was getting way too long. And this is the fact that there's going to be class changes in the expansion separate from combat styles altogether. Your Jedi Guardian or your Jedi Knight Sentinel are going to be very different in the expansion compared to how you play them today. And we'll talk more about that in a separate video. If you want to show your support for this series of in-depth videos, discussions, and news about Star Wars The Old Republic, please visit Swtorista.com/support. To make a pledge. Or if you want to have similar Star Wars The Old Republic videos show up on your YouTube homepage, subscribe to this channel. As always, may the Force be with you. Okay, that's that one. Oh my god, that's too long. Save project as. This one's going to be combat styles. I was going to call it combat styles confirmed. I wasn't quite sure what else to call it because I already did combat styles explained video. Let's open that other one. The dev post. Because I actually wanted to add like a... Add new tracks. Add new tracks. Add new mono track? Sure, I don't really understand the difference between those because I don't know much about audio. What's this PTS I'm hearing about? Yeah, it's a public test server where we can test things about Star Wars The Old Republic and give feedback before they come out on the main game. Mono, one speaker. One speaker. Squeaker. Soaker. Got it. Okay. So what I want to talk about this, I actually want to go read something on SWTOR.com first as like a prelude. Should be in the news somewhere. It's okay, PJ, it made me laugh. I can't type either. I type very poorly. Fast, but poorly. Oh, here we go. This is what I was looking for. Oh, but I need it big enough that I can easily see it, but small enough that it doesn't take up the whole screen. Less than 600? 500? 400? Yeah, okay. Alright. Okay, I guess I'll do my best. I don't really know exactly what I want to say about this, so might take me a couple tries for the introduction. I'm kind of scared. Something got a little funky. Should be okay though. Okay. I do have a question, like... Control plus scroll wheel, adjust website font sizes. Yeah, we did that, but then the font was getting cut off on the side of the screen because it's such an old website. I was like, aww. Jochim says, thanks for the help, but are there nothing new for single players? Oh, Jochim. I don't know if you saw, but there's an expansion coming out. And first off, all these changes that we're talking about right now about the combat styles, that's going to be for everybody. That's going to be for you as a solo player too. One nice thing you might like to hear is that you'll have the option to choose a more defensive route, a more defensive combat style. So you'll die less if that's what you like. And then the expansion, the story, every expansion story is literally for solo players. It's not even for group players. Hey there, Vota. Or Vato, rather. S Red says, let's say I have a Jedi Knight and I change to Jedi Shadow. Can I change it back to Jedi Knight? We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. We have no confirmation about this at all. I see y'all say, yes, of course you can. We don't know. We don't know. We'll be able to switch, but we don't know, like, how easily or which ones we can switch between. Or, like, oh my god, I don't know. I assume so, yes. So we still need a little more confirmation about that. I assume you would be able to, though. Are you always re-recording the ending? Yeah, Thor and Tor. The ending's fresh every time. The beginning is pre-recorded. Why? I don't know. I just found it easier that way. Okay. After combat styles were first announced to be released with the expansion coming up in Star Wars The Old Republic. That's not quite what I want to say. Combat styles were first announced as part of it. Oh no, this is basically the same as my last intro. I need a different. Hello everyone, this is a video a lot of you have asked me to make to go over what are going to be the changes to classes coming up in the expansion Star Wars The Old Republic. The first changes that we found out about was during a live stream announcing the expansion, which should be coming out in holidays 2021. It'll be called Legacy of the Sith, and that is combat styles. Combat styles will be the ability to switch between different advanced classes, and I cover that fully in a different video if you want to learn more. However, not too long after that, we got a whirlwind of a surprise when the developers started testing classes for the expansion on the public test server, the PTS, and we're looking for feedback about these changes. Welcome to the Academy. Anonymous Dame. We actually talked about that at the end of the last video about how a lot of people were like, oh, it'd be cool if you could keep Force Choke, but like use the other abilities. Doesn't sound like you're going to be able to do that. Sounds like it'd be really hard to code that one. I think it'd be a lot of work. Do we know if you can maintain your combat style if you're the wrong alignment for it? Man, I don't know. Sorry. Good Doggo says both Legacy of the Sith and Final Fantasy Endwalker around the end of the year. And I think New World got pushed back to September 28th too. So you're going to have that as well for anyone who is interested in that. And we're looking for feedback about these changes. In the first round of the public test server, we were told we were going to be testing the Jedi Knight Guardian. A lot of players assumed that we were going to be seeing the new combat style system, maybe see how you can switch back and forth between those different advanced classes, kind of get a better idea of how it works, but we actually got something completely different. There are going to be major changes to every class in the game for the expansion, including whatever class you play. They just started with the Jedi Guardian, and so far there have been the Jedi Guardian out and the Jedi Knight. So unfortunately, when they put this out on the test server, they decided to put it out as early as they possibly could to start testing out the idea of these changes, but there was no interface. There was no way to see it, and this confused a lot of players as they couldn't actually see the changes, and there was also a lot of what felt like missing abilities. Some of these were only missing because it's a test server. They were looking to make changes in some way. Some were just broken. Some were they were looking to roll, like, mix two abilities into one, stuff like that. Others are part of a very clear philosophy choice that they seem to want to be making, and that philosophy choice I'll talk a little bit about by reading out some of the messaging they've shared. And in short, you'll have less abilities when the expansion launches at any given time. Some of these will just be less abilities, like they'll get cut out. Some will be combined, and others you'll have to choose between. And when you choose one thing that they did said is whichever one you choose will be stronger than it was previously, but you won't have all of the abilities all at once. So we're going to start with something that they released on SWTOR.com, an article talking about the test server when it first launched. So here we go. As we announced on last week's live stream, we are opening our public test server, PTS, so players can give us initial feedback on the updates we're making to combat styles. And the first round of PTS, public test server, will focus on the Jedi Guardian. Before we get into the details of how players can access this content, we wanted to share some of the philosophy behind our changes to the Jedi Knight. Oh boy, indeed. Are they still planning ability pruning? Yep, they are. So we're in the middle of recording something about that. In the Jedi Knight's current state, there is quite a bit to learn and memorize. You need to understand active abilities, passive modifiers, selectable utilities, and how they all work together. Our goal is to make these relationships clearer and easier to understand, while also ensuring that the class retains its identity. To achieve these goals, we are identifying key aspects of the Jedi Guardian and understanding how players both perceive and utilize the class's abilities. Our focus is to equip the player with the knowledge and understanding of these abilities so they can make impactful choices when it comes to ability upgrades and customizations. To make the class feel less encumbered and customization more concise, we are working to reduce the quantity of abilities but ensuring that the class remains distinct and unique. This round of test server is a high-level first look at the Jedi Guardian, so it's not a super deep dive, and there is a limitation on what will be available to play and customize at this time. While you will be able to see the full scope of customization of the Jedi Guardian on a later PTS, you will only be offered default choices for this initial phase. The main question we want players to focus on is, does this feel like a Jedi Guardian? We want to make sure that the foundation is strong and everything we build on top of that is in line with our goals for combat styles and giving players a sense of new but familiar. Check out our forum post for details on how to access the PTS. And the first look into the Jedi Guardian kicks off a series of test servers that will be coming in the following months, all leading up to the arrival of Legacy of the Sith. Stay tuned for more in-depth details on future PTS opportunities. Okay, sweet. So that's the article that explains their general philosophy of what they were going for. The first thing players could read about why are they making these changes. So then players were able to hop onto the test server. As they keep trying to say, it's a high-level first look. So there's no user interface. There's no equivalent of the utilities, the K button on your keyboard. There's nothing you could really see. However, there was a post on the SWTOR.com forums that basically wrote it all down in text, the best that they felt they could share at the time. When players... Oops. So when players first logged into the test server, we didn't quite understand how bare bones it would be, so it was a bit rough to test. But the things players started noticing is, first off, where are interrupts? Where is our stun breaker? And those were missing, and that was actually addressed a little later. So luckily those aren't going away, but other things might happen to them. At first glance, when players were trying out these new combat styles, one thing they were noticing is, oh, I feel like I'm missing some abilities that I had before. And it's not super clear on the test server, but when you go to look on the forum posts, you'll notice that this is because those abilities are not entirely missing, but they are part of a choice that players make. So one of the most noticeable choices... Oh, did I already talk about this? I feel like I did. Now here's where things get interesting if you haven't been following Star Wars The Old Republic's test server and dev tracker and discussion forums. What I didn't know when I made the last video was that they were also going to be making some major changes to the classes. What they said in the live stream was that it kind of made it sound like they'll make some minor changes to the classes. They always do, but it didn't seem like any drastic things were going to be happening. I think I need to like combine these together. It's kind of weird. Hello everyone. Coming up in the expansion Star Wars The Old Republic. The first changes that we found out about was during a live stream announcing the expansion, which should be coming out in holidays 2021. It'll be called Legacy of the Sith, and that is combat styles. Combat styles will be the ability to switch between different advanced classes, and I cover that fully in a different video if you want to learn more. However, okay, so here's where we need to like split it. This is why I like having a full script already written. I don't have to like decide things while I'm recording. However, here's where things get interesting. We got completely blindsided. But it didn't seem like any drastic things were going to be happening, just this cool option to switch between advanced classes. We got completely blindsided by the public test server when they launched it to show the test server allows players to test things before they are completely finished, before they make it to the live server, and be allowed to give feedback about what they see and feel about what's there. What we saw in the test server was some major changes to the way that classes work compared to... Okay, so I think here's where I can split it. We'll kind of see how that flows. Edit, clip boundaries, split. And we're gonna take this and we're gonna plop it right here. See how that goes. So let's see. We're talking about my generation. Need to switch between different advanced classes, and I cover that fully in a different video if you want to learn more. However, not too long after that, we got a whirlwind of a surprise when the developers started testing classes for the expansion on the public test server, the PTS, and we're looking for feedback about these changes. Now here's where things get interesting if you haven't been following Star Wars The Old Republic's test server and dev tracker and discussion forums. What I didn't know when I made the last video was that they were also they see and feel about what's there. In the first round of the public test server, we were told we were going to be testing the Jedi Knight Guardian. A lot of players assumed that we were going to be seeing the new combat style system, maybe see how you can switch back and forth between those different advanced classes, so I think get a better idea of how it works. This is where I'm talking about it, and then I read that post, and then that players make. So one of the most noticeable choices. Oh, and I was saying I already talked about later, this. So luckily those aren't going away, but other things might happen to them. At first glance, when players were trying out these new combat styles, one thing they were noticing is, oh, I feel like I'm missing some abilities that I had before. And it's not super clear on the test server, but when you go to look on the forum posts, you'll notice that this is because those abilities are not entirely missing, but they are part of a choice that players make. So one of the most noticeable choices, what we saw in the test. Oh, that's not okay. I need to like reconfigure this. Oh, let's see how it goes. But the things players started noticing is, first off, where are interrupts? Where is our stun breaker? And those were missing, and that was actually addressed a little later. So luckily those aren't going away, but other things might happen to them. What we saw on the test server was some major changes to the way that classes work compared to how they do now. I'm going to not talk, I'll give a full overview of that, but I am going to read a reply post that was said by the developers in reply to players giving feedback. Players gave a lot of feedback. One of the most common feedbacks was that I am upset that you are reducing the number of abilities that my class has. The most classic example is for the Jedi Knight Guardian tank. Okay, cool. So I talk all about that, and then I read that developer post that explains a little more of why. Why are you doing this? Server and giving us your constructive feedback. And I think both of those posts combined, the original news article and that developer post we just read out, explain basically what they're trying to do. They're trying to reduce the number of abilities. They are trying to make the game more balanced because they've added too many defensive abilities over the years. They're trying to make it have... What are they trying to do? I don't freaking know. They're trying to have less abilities, but why? So it's less complicated. What word should we use to explain that, though? They use a little bit of it. So I think between that original news article post that we read, kind of explaining the Jedi Knight, as well as that developer post that explains some of their philosophy and design change ideas, I think we've got a really good look at why they're doing this and what their goals are. So number one is to make the classes easier to understand in general. I think a lot of that will come from whatever new user interface that we're going to see. That isn't finished yet. Second is to make it easier to understand the class by having less abilities to go through and look through. In general, it does seem like they're going to be reducing the number of abilities. Some players have been calling this ability pruning. I don't think this is going to be taken off the table. I'm pretty sure this is something fairly set in stone from everything that they've said on the forums and stuff so far. However, I think they are going to be taking feedback about which abilities should we take away, which animation should we take away, what should we and should we not combine together. For example, one of the other common player feedbacks is like, oh my god, I have to choose saber throw? Isn't this something that's so iconic to the class? I should just get it right away. That kind of thing may stick. So I do encourage you to continue giving your feedback, but I don't think they're going to be listening to any feedback like stop taking away my abilities. I've got my fingers crossed. I don't personally know exactly how I feel about it. I had just started learning the Jedi Knight Guardian, and I felt like I kind of got into grips with the class right before this came out. I'd been running the Eternal Championship. It was a ton of fun learning how to use all those different abilities all in the same fight, all at the same time. To kind of overcome the obstacles that I was facing, and I'm worried how it will feel when I no longer have all of them at once. I think it's going to require a lot more testing. I think we're going to have to be able to test it in the kind of fights that players who like to use all 10 of those abilities at once actually would fight in the game, because right now we're just kind of testing against basic enemies. But when I'm using those abilities, I'm doing really hard solo content, or I'm doing group content, or I'm doing PvP. That's when all of our crazy 30+ abilities come into play, versus if I'm just running around killing enemies on Tython, I'll probably just be using the one key anyway. So we'll be seeing more of the classes on the public test server coming up over the course of the next few months leading up to Legacy of the Sith. They have promised that. Ooh! And you will continue to be able to provide your feedback. And when you're providing that feedback, I really encourage you to say, how does this make you feel? Not just this sucks, stop it. What specifically is upsetting you, like which abilities specifically, because for all you know, you might be able to, you can't change the whole concept, but you might be able to change which ability makes it in or doesn't make it in. And I'm vaguely optimistic about the future of the game, but I feel like I can't get a really good judge on it until I get to play these finished changed classes in difficult content, and I'll let you know how I feel then as well. I don't know. Is there anything else, dear stream, dear YouTube peoples? Is there anything else we should talk about? I feel like I should talk about my feelings more, but I'm very conflicted on the concept. I feel like I don't have enough information to judge it. Like, my first reaction is I hate it. Stop taking my abilities away. I want all 30 of them. But I'm also a very experienced player. I'm not a very good player, but I'm a very experienced player, and I feel very comfortable when I'm going to learn a new class and I've suddenly got 30 abilities dumped on my lap. I feel like I already have all the tools to go figure out how to go learn it. But I know one of the major complaints that players have when they're first starting the game is that the game is a lot. The game is overwhelming, is often the word that gets used, and it's not just the abilities, it's the whole thing. The whole thing is not really necessarily well designed or easy to understand. And at level 75, when you've got 30 abilities and you've got, what is 6, 12? Is it 18? 18 or 24 utilities to choose from, and you've got all your passive abilities in the background too. It's like, oh my god, it's scary. But I'm worried more for veteran players. I think it's going to be great for new players. I think new players who have not played before are going to love it. It's going to ideally be more intuitive. It's going to feel fun to level up because you'll actually get choices as you level up, and hopefully they present that in a way that's very easy to see and understand. And it'll be easier to learn classes, hopefully. Probably still hard to master. You still got to actually play them, but to actually understand what's where should be easier. And especially with those choices stuff, like you don't have to learn all 3. So we were talking about the Jedi Knight change, the Endure, Blade Blitz, Saber Reflect. You don't have to learn all 3 of those. You just have to learn the one of the 3 that you picked so far. And all 3 of those can be they have a lot to learn with them. Like Saber Reflect can be used some places, but not others. And each fight has special places where you'd want to use it in for the harder fights. Blade Blitz, you got to know it's used as a defensive too, and you got to know when to use it as a movement ability, when to use a defensive, and how not to fling yourself off a cliff. And in it's a heal, but it only heals you temporarily, so you have to know exactly when to use it so you're not going to die after your temporary health goes away. So it's a lot to learn. But you'll only have to learn 1 at a time now, and you'll only be expected to learn 1 at a time because you can't have all 3 at once anyway. But an experienced player could go back and choose which one is best for the fight. So they'll still have a choice, but it's going to suck. It's going to suck feelings-wise. My feelings. As an experienced player to go into a fight knowing before you had all 3, you could use all 3 at once if you wanted to, and now you got 1. Yeah. I guess I should talk about that. Ben says, it's tough for me to give feedback, which exactly I'm struggling with versus saying I'm stuck overall. Okay, I mean, if that's all you can do, give that. I mean, even just copying the fact that the constant changes are making it rough for you is enough. It's way better than nothing. Yes, it's very interesting. A lot of players have been they've been comparing combat styles, the idea to change advanced classes with Final Fantasy's profession system. I know almost nothing about this. And then they've been choosing comparing the the system where you need to choose between multiple abilities to WoW's one of WoW's systems, and it seems very similar from what I have seen. You choose between 3 important abilities every couple of levels or something like that. I thought it was very interesting how similar they were, but I don't think that was a well-received change in World of Warcraft. However, I don't know World of Warcraft's history. It might have been a necessary one at the time for a lot of the same reasons that they explained here, because we have too many abilities right now because they kept adding more because to balance them. I don't know how that works. WoW talents. Talents are what they call it. Thanks, good doggo. I have no idea about the WoW terminology. Someone just showed me some screenshots of what they look like, and I was like, oh, hey, this looks exactly like the chart that we made to show what the PTS looks like. Okay, so I guess I should try and know how I feel then as well. I am very optimistic about the new player experience for new players joining Star Wars: The Old Republic and coming into this system. It should be a lot easier to learn a new class. It should be less overwhelming. It should feel fun, and I think that's the most important one. It's more about our veteran players who are used to having all of these abilities at once and have been having a lot of fun learning how to use all 3 of those abilities at once, or all 30 of their abilities at once, that I'm more worried about. And we'll see how they feel about it, mainly once the expansion launches and once we have more details from the test server about how these classes play. I hope this huge overview helped you understand it a little bit more, helped you get a better idea of what the developers' philosophy is from what they have shared so far. If you want to have more, if you're not sick of this, if you're not already quitting the game and want to have more Star Wars: The Old Republic videos show up on your YouTube homepage, subscribe to this channel. And if you want to show your support for these in-depth reviews, news, guides, stuff like that, please visit Swtorista.com/support and make a pledge. As always, may the Force be with you. You can see me like yelling right here. Hang on. This is what me kind of yelling. This is what me, I hate the game, looks like. It's anyways. Oh gosh, that one's gonna be 17 minutes long. Okay, let's save. Save that. Fantastic. I think I'm gonna start with the other one. Hopefully it didn't die. Okay, it didn't die. We're good. I was a bit scared of that. I was gonna cry. And we've got that 14-minute video about combat styles that they just shared very recently. That's kind of more recent news, so let's work on this one. So first off, we're gonna find a quiet spot. Oh, that was not quiet at all. What about right here? That's very quiet. We're gonna get the noise profile that we showed at the very beginning, and we're gonna oops. I managed to delete like half my audio. Thank you, edit undo button. There we go. So now the computer's running, basically scanning through, trying to take away that background noise the best that it can. John says, my worry is all MMOs will end up mostly the same, exactly the same. Well, will combat be similar? I mean, World of Warcraft and Star Wars: The Old Republic have always been similar in combat. Very similar, actually. SWTOR's combat was pretty much inspired by World of Warcraft, so they've always been pretty much the same, to be honest. I'm gonna switch. I realize my light's starting to fail here. I'm gonna switch this charger over. Poor little light. I was like watching it dim as I was talking to you guys. Full power! There we go. Hi, everybody. I don't know if that made any difference. I'm still testing out some of my green screen stuff. Do you guys want to see my green screen? My green screen's great since I moved. I don't know if you guys knew that, but I moved recently. How would I show this to you? Here we go. My green screen is actually a red screen. It's been working really well though, ever since I got a second little light here. So let's go back to, we can get rid of this now. We're just gonna edit our audio now. So we've made it so the quiet part should actually be quiet. Oh, good, I don't hear anything. I'm playing it and I hear nothing. Now we're gonna go to the beginning. Hello everyone, I'm so excited to share with you some... Sweet, that sounds great. So now we're going to just go through kind of slowly with the audio. We're gonna be editing out any parts where I go really poorly. And I'm doing it visually. I'm not actually gonna be listening to the audio. I can see what my breaths sound like or look like. And I can see what little clicks or background noise sound like. We're explained that you have your base class. So you can actually see me saying right here. That have your base class, so you're a trooper. There we go. What's this? So this is a deep breath here. And here's me clicking in between segments. We're just doing a real quick overview. We're not trying to get studio quality. We're just trying to get it some decent sounding me yakking at you guys. I used to try and be really perfect about it, but I realized it was very time consuming. I really didn't enjoy it. And I figured you guys, I've never heard anyone say oh my god, I heard one small sound in the background of unsubscribing to the channel, you know? It seems to be okay. But I am editing out the clicks and the time between little segments where I stop to talk to you guys, since we're live streaming in real life, where I stop to take a breath basically. Any Star Wars Galaxy players here that went through the huge change in that game? Yeah, a lot of players have been likening this one to that as well. What was it called? I can't remember. New game? New game something or other? That one was a huge letdown for that game. I don't know, we'll see. I will tell you a very major we'll see. When people were saying that when they first announced combat styles, the ability to switch advanced classes, and I was like, you guys are dumb. It's not even similar at all. But this change is kind of similar to that. It's more similar to what World of Warcraft did a little while ago. That was very unpopular, but I don't know enough to commentate on that, or on whether that was a good or bad change for WoW, other than players didn't like it. But the thing is, it doesn't matter if players liked it or didn't like it, if it brought new people to the game or retained more people, more people stuck around who wouldn't have otherwise, new players who were overwhelmed. It was a net positive, you know? Oh my god, there's a face behind the channel. Hi! Yeah, I'm in the middle of editing big ol' long video audio right here. Gerald says, I love the Zerka. The Zerka weapons. Yeah, those suckers are huge. The big green ones. Some of them have spinny stuff on them. They're really unique. New game experience is what it was called. Thanks, Trig. Up in the cutscenes. We don't know about that. One of the... Ooh, what's this? It's me saying, I don't know what to say. Here we go. What about this one? And they also bowed towards the idea that you'll... Of course, when this idea of combat styles was first shown in the live stream... Ooh, I think I'm gonna... I think when I'm done editing this audio, I'm gonna go take a break, because I've been on the computer too long. Oh, someone asked earlier, how long did it take to get used to hearing your own voice? It was very weird at first, as it is for many people. But when you start editing your own audio, you can't not listen to your own voice. There is no avoiding it. Once I felt more comfortable speaking, and once I'd gotten the actual audio to be smoother and to be more similar to how I hear myself, it was a lot better. If you're using a low-end microphone, you're going to hear all the scratchiness. Your voice is probably not going to sound very similar to how it sounds in your head or in real life. Fixing that helped a lot with the disconnect, you know? But mainly just having to hear myself over and over and over as I edit the audio, re-record the audio when I mess up, have to listen to my darn self speaking over and over and over just to do the recording. And then I have to go listen to it again when I go edit the video. You get over that real fast. I think I was over it after the first like 3 or 4 videos like years ago. I really don't mind it at all now. Hello everyone, I'm so excited. Okay. Save! Save, 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 save. File. Okay, export. Let's do this! Combat styles confirmed! Woohoo! We did it! Woohoo! We did it! I wish you heard yourself the same way others heard you. Yeah, it would be a lot easier, wouldn't it? It would be. It's very strange. Very strange phenomenon. Laser says, whenever I hear myself talk, I always cringe. Yeah, and that can be a combo of things. Just not feeling like you're hearing yourself as well as not feeling you're speaking as well as you want to. One of those things can be changed. You can speak better. That's something you can practice. Or speak. It's not even necessarily speak better. It's like, I need to speak as if I was a scholar of the Andes. I must speak as if I was an incredibly intelligent teleprompter. I must speak with the narrative of someone who speaks on the radio. It's more like being able to say what you want to say, to express what you want to be able to express without stuttering, without feeling like you're having trouble getting it from your brain to your mouth. And that could be in any type of form. That could be like rapping if you want. That could be talking with your super strong accent and your slang that you grew up with. But it helps the more you practice speaking. It doesn't have to be in front of a crowd, but like it could literally be into a microphone. If you want to start with something, you can start by like reading something from like a paper, like reading a book out loud. That's a good place to start practicing if you don't know what you want to say yet. I usually fumble over my words, says Doctor. Yeah. So that's something we can all practice if it's something we want to improve. It's just like any other skill, like writing or reading, you know? Oh, John says, when I heard myself, I always think I'm hearing cicadas. Actually, I was a tour guide for years. I had to listen to myself over the loudspeakers. Oh, and that's actually part of the other problem I was talking about, hearing yourself. The quality is low, so you're not even going to sound like yourself to start with. With a loudspeaker, I imagine, is even worse than a low quality microphone in your computer. Ian says, are you basically a human SWTOR encyclopedia? No, because I have a garbage memory. I'm trying to create a SWTOR encyclopedia, though, so I can look stuff up. I'm trying to catch up with the chat now. Yeah, Alex. Alex says, why do the same thing as World of Warcraft when they lost many veteran players to something like this? If you lose 5 veteran players, but suddenly 20 new players who were originally going to leave the game because it was too complicated suddenly continue playing and continue subscribing, is it worth it? I don't know the answer to that question because it's more complicated than just 5 versus 20. And we don't know if 20 is a real number or not. I'm just making this up out of my head. So we don't have the data to take any real good guess. We don't have WoW's data, and we don't have Star Wars: The Old Republic's data either. We just gonna have to trust that they're doing the best they can with the data that they have, and cross our fingers that it's a good choice, right? Okay, I think this is maybe a good spot to end the stream. So thank you so much for let me do this. Can we do the goodbye? Oh yes, I'm playing you a beautiful goodbye song that I wrote just for you guys. Beep beep beep. Thank you so much for coming along for this behind the scenes stream. Hope to see you again soon. I mostly, as I mentioned very early in the stream, I mostly only stream to Twitch, and I actually stream live like this. Actually playing the game though. Actually playing the game at try and go around my microphone. Twitch.tv/Swtorista. And that's every weekday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. PST. Next week we're going to be doing something very fun and interesting called the Great Datacron Hunt. And this is going to be all week next week on Twitch. From 8 to 10. So for those of you who struggle with time zones, that would be about 4 hours. Start 4 hours before whatever time it is for you now. And you'll be able to join us if you're on the Star Forge server. Otherwise, you'll be able to just come watch. I hope you guys have a great day, and thanks so much for joining me for the impromptu stream. See you later. Bye. Have a great day. Bye. Bye, everybody. See ya. See ya. Bye. Bye.